some stuff. All right, congratulations, you guys. Now, let's go to the list here. We've got one of our favorite comedians coming up first. He's been rocking this room before. We had to have him back. He's been killing it in the area. Please, everybody, welcome to the stage the very funny Jeremiah Hughes.
Hey, Olympia. Thanks for having me out. I like Olympia. I don't live too far away. I live in Aberdeen. Do you guys know where Aberdeen is? Oh, no. Now you guys know how to judge me. Oh, boy. See, Aberdeen's a little rough town, right? A little poor, rough and tumble town, but it's getting worse and worse. I can tell that because the other day I was robbed at needlepoint. That guy really put the stick in, stick up, you know? I was like, really thinking with his head, that's good stuff. It's crazy. It's all right, though, because if someone takes a look at a guy like me and they don't know I'm from Aberdeen, they're prone to say, hey, man, check your privilege. Not everyone's born and raised in a gated community, asshole. Like, how did they know I was born in the only gated trailer park in Aberdeen, you know? Like, that's crazy. The only other gated community is Stafford Creek Penitentiary, so. And my uncle's from there. We'll talk about him later. He's fun. It's a good time. I was given really bad advice growing up in Aberdeen. I was. Like, people would go to me, like, when I was a little kid, little girls would go, they'd kick me in the shins and they'd run off, right? And all the adults, when I told them what was happening, they go, don't worry, it just means she likes you. Well, what, did the little boys like me because they were giving me swirlies and kicking my ass too? I mean, it was confusing, right? I held that with me my entire like childhood. In high school, I was a laughingstock because on the STD list, I was the only person that put shin splints. You know? It was embarrassing. I was a laughingstock of high school when it came time to put the protection on that banana. I could not figure out where to fit those shin guards, you know? It was really confusing. I got bad advice all the time growing up in Aberdeen. People would say, burn sage, it's good luck, it smells good, burn sage. Well, did you know that burning sage you bought yourself could be considered like really bad luck? I learned that the hard way when my cat died. Okay? Rest in peace, Sage. I can tell you burning sage does not smell good, okay? Still trying to get the smell out of my apartment. In Aberdeen, I work in a weed store. I have a day job. I work in a dispensary. Any pot smokers here? Okay. So you guys can attest that, you know, weed strains are named after really scary, terrible things, right? They're always named like Chernobyl or Miracle Whip. Well, I wanted to name a strain something really scary too. So whenever I get to name a strain, a name of a pot, I'm gonna name it Corporate America. Because that's the most scary thing I can think of, right? Most of the time you smoke weed to get fucked up, but with Corporate America, you're just fucked over every time. Yeah. Oh man, most of the time you go in, you give me money and you get weed, right? But with corporate America, it's special. You come in, you give me money, and you can get the fuck out, because this is America, you know? Oh, it's fun. I've had a lot of jobs. I've had a second favorite job. Obviously, selling pot is my favorite job, right? I mean, they bought me a phone. They did. It's crazy. I had to get a new phone number, though. And the phone number I got recently belonged to someone that died. And so I was getting calls and texts for a dead person, and that shit's really awkward. The mom texted me one time and said, honey, I can't bear to delete this phone number. We miss you, fly high, Mom. What do you say to such an awkward text like that, right? Well, I figured out really quickly what not to say to such an awkward text like that. Because I was like, love you too, Mom. Then I just ghosted her like her dead daughter, you know? I'm glad you guys are into that, because some people are like, Jeremiah, that's punching down, that's fucked up. I know, about 6 feet down, really, if you're counting. It's a good time. But I have had a lot of different jobs. I worked in a daycare. That was my second favorite job, right? Anybody have kids? You can attest, thank you. You can attest that kids definitely have a set personality. They can't hide who they are, right? I was able to find two main types of kids at my daycare. There were kids that hated getting dizzy, and then there were the future alcoholics of America. Right? The kids that love to get dizzy. And they don't mix, it's like oil and water. So on one side of the room, there would be like the nerds in their coloring books, right? And then I would be hanging out with all the cool kids, you know, giving them spins. We had Kids Bop playing in the background. It was like a little kid nightclub. We were having fun. But I got that little moment that I got to teach these little alcoholics their first life lesson, right? Because just like real alcoholics, they don't know when they've had enough, you know? So I gotta be like, hey Billy, you just bit Mary and you puked twice, okay? You're getting close to a blackout, little buddy. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna lay down and take a nap, otherwise you're gonna really embarrass yourself here coming up, okay? Take it from me. I've had a lot of jobs, as you can tell. I'll share with you a job I was recently able to quit, right? I really hated this job. They had fucked up rules. They had a misogynistic rule. One of the rules was that you had to be a man, right? There had to be men everywhere in the sales floor in case if there was a robbery. I don't understand what I could do differently in a robbery compared to a woman, except for like cock slap the guy a couple times, you know? Only problem is I got like no reach on this bad boy. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just like a long nipple. That's all I'm really working with down there. May not be long, but it sure is skinny. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we got your back. All right. We love little dick jokes. I was smoking weed with my buddy the other day. He said, Jeremiah, how much money do you think it would cost to show a whole stadium's worth of people your dick? And with the economy nowadays, I'm gonna be honest, like not much. Probably just fill my tank. But I got a loophole, you see. I'm not afraid to show a whole stadium's worth of people my dick. I'm afraid to show a whole stadium's worth of people my dick and my face at the same time, you see. It's a whole guilty by association thing. No one's gonna see my dick out of context and be like, you know what that looks like? Yeah, it looks like Jeremiah's dick, yeah. See, you know, no one should or will be able to pick out their granddad's Peter out of a police lineup. It's a real private thing down here, you know. It's fun. I've recently learned how to master the clitoris, okay? My girlfriend's really, really vocal in the bedroom. She was able to tell me how to do it right. She likes it really light, right? So light that at first I was like, babe, I'm not even touching you. And she's like, that's the point. I'll be in the bath. Have a good night. Man. I had a sexist rule, you know, I was dealing with that my entire life. In Aberdeen, that happens a lot, right? A lot of people from Aberdeen think just because they have a penis, they're better than women. But that's not true because they don't wipe that penis after they pee. So, I mean, immediately not better at that. Okay? Men go by the 2-shake rule, right? 2 shakes and you're playing with it? That is the most bullshit personal hygiene rule I have ever heard in my life, right? You don't do that in the shower. Can you imagine if there was a guy wiping his ass and he's like, oh, only 2 times, I'm not finger blasting myself in here. Come on. The 2-shake rule is ineffective. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? Like, if women really knew how many little droplets of piss were in men's panties, I don't think another blowjob would happen again. I'm gonna be honest. It's not just me, ladies. I think there would be chaos in the world if women started to go about that. They just started twerking over the toilet seat when they were done. It would be a long time. Those lines would get a lot longer, you know? Oh, it's fun. I come from a really kooky family, if you can't tell. Like I mentioned my uncle earlier. He's in prison for timber theft. I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't know how much wood you have to steal to get arrested for it, but it's a lot. Okay? And he continues to try to give me advice from inside of prison. Right? He'll write me letters with little nuggets of information. The last time he wrote me, he included instructions on how to do a hillbilly wet wipe. Which is basically just when you blow your nose before you wipe your ass. Yeah, for the moisture, he claims, right? But let's remember he's in prison. I'm pretty sure that's just his KY Jaylee. I mean, I know that guy pretty well, I'm gonna be honest. I have a cute little nephew, a little cute 7-year-old nephew, and he loves Legos, right? He is absolutely nutty with Legos. He has every Lego set imaginable. But he also comes from a religious Baptist family. So for Christmas, I wanted to get him a Christian Lego set, right? They don't make a Christian Lego set, was the only problem. I went out of my way to make a Christian Lego set for him. The one and only Passion of the Christ Lego set, everybody. It was pretty realistic too. You gotta build up that little Lego crucifix, and he could beat the shit out of little Lego Jesus and hang him on that crucifix. It's a great time, you know? You think he was one of the Romans. He really fits in. Lego Jesus will bring his whole family closer to the actual Jesus, though, because Jesus had nails hammered through his feet, right? And you can have that same sensation if you just step on one of those fucking Legos, you know? It's fun. Okay, so I have a kooky family, like I said. My dad is no different. Growing up in a trailer park, he would brutalize me, right? He has a real brutal sense of humor. Kids would make fun of me. My hair would grow straight out like a dandelion, right? They call me dandelion head or chia pet. Fucking hurt my feelings. Thank you for laughing. That still hurts. So I went home. I told my dad what they were saying, right? He goes, "Oh, they were calling you chia pet? That's pretty good." You know? He was an asshole. So when I grew up to be a teenager, I had a lot of resentment. I'd be like, "I hate you, Dad. You're an asshole." He'd be like, "That's weird. I didn't know they made a jerk edition. Chia pet." I just tell you guys that a little bit about my dad so that you can understand this next little bit, right? Because my mom would take me and my sister to a family friend's house, Eric, right? And Eric was like the opposite of my dad. He was kind and sweet and loving. I mean, you know, one day I got really confused with how I felt about Eric, and I went to my mom. I said, "Mom, I think Eric should be my dad." And she was like, "What? Why?" I'm like, it's simple. I've done a lot of math. I just love Eric more than Dad, you know? And she got all serious and she leaned in and she goes, "Oh, honey, it's okay that you feel that way. I just want to let you know that you're seen because I love Eric more than Dad too, you know?" But the joke's on me because February I got a paternity test and Eric was my dad, y'all. That's my time. Thanks for laughing with me, guys. Give it up for the host coming back. Tana, everybody.
Jeremiah Hughes, everybody. Jeremiah was talking about the shake, right? The shake technique.